What's up, guys? Welcome to part 4 of the big board reveal, where I'll be running through players ranked 16 through 30 on my personal big board. I'm Bobby Douglas. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get right into it. At 30 on my board, I have Minnesota big man Daniel Oturu. Oturu's raw output at Minnesota was impressive on its own, as he averaged 20 points and 11 rebounds, along with 2.5 blocks a game. Oturu is an impressive physical specimen, as his chiseled 6'10", 240-pound frame with solid vertical athleticism makes him a force to be reckoned with on both ends. I really buy his interior production, and his three-point shot is also enticing as he knocked down 36.5% from the outside this past season. On the perimeter, defensively I worry about his mobility. He struggles going side to side, and I'm not confident he can stay in front of NBA handlers. He also tends to turn the ball over a fair amount, which makes me question his basketball awareness. At 29, I have Stanford guard Tyrell Terry. Terry is an insanely intelligent basketball player. He apparently got the highest score ever recorded on some test of basketball intellect, and that clearly shows up in the way he plays, as he sees the floor really well as a guard. His key attribute is his shooting ability. Terry hit 41% of his threes while averaging 14.6 points a game, and his ability to get his shot off is really impressive. I worry about Terry because while he is intelligent, he turns the ball over a lot, and he doesn't really seem to get good separation on his drives, which may make scoring a difficult proposition for him in the NBA. Defensively, he projects to be a negative defender, as he was often outbodied and out of position. He did add about 20 pounds of muscle and went from 6'1 to 6'3, but until I see that in a game, I can't fully buy into it. At 28, I have Jay Scrubb. The JUCO prospect decided to enter the draft after originally committing to Louisville, and while that was a controversial decision, I really do see NBA upside here. He's got great athleticism and has a great scoring package, as he averaged close to 22 points a game while showing off his three-level abilities. Scrubb's defensive effort and overall motor have been questioned, but I really just think you need to buy into Scrubb, who I honestly think is a lottery-level talent in this year's class. At 27, I have Michigan State guard Cassius Winston. I love Cassius Winston and see him as the best pick-and-roll creator in this class. He's such a smart operator offensively, and he's a really reliable shooter off the catch and off the dribble. He can make high-level passes, and is just one of those guys who makes everyone around him better. While he averaged 19 points and 6 assists last season, Winston still doesn't instill a lot of confidence on the defensive end. At 6'1", 185 with a lack of explosiveness, Winston will most likely have to be hidden on defense, but I still really think he'll be a solid NBA point guard for the next decade. Coming in at 26, I have Malik Fitz out of St. Mary's. I really buy Fitz as an offensive powerhouse. The 6'8" forward uses his built frame to accelerate towards the basket at powerful speeds, and he's also a knockdown three-point shooter as he hit 40.8% of his shots from out there this past season. He hit around 17 points a game this season and was a key cog in a fluid St. Mary's offense. Fitz also has the athleticism to hold his own on defense, but I do question his overall awareness and motor on that end. Still, I really buy Fitz as a coveted wing scorer that all NBA teams should be looking for. At 25, I have TCU's Desmond Bane. Bane projects as an impact scorer for a winning team with his high IQ and fundamentally sound playing style. Bane is one of the better shooters in this draft, and he's incredibly smart on the defensive end, as he is a solid enough athlete as well. Again, he's not necessarily a sexy first-round pick, but I legitimately think he's a sneaky Rookie of the Year candidate if he lands in the right situation. He's tailor-made to contribute on a playoff team next year. The senior averaged 16.6 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 3.9 assists while shooting 44% from three-point range. Again, he doesn't have the highest upside, but I think he's one of the most surefire players in this draft. At 24, I have Gonzaga forward Killian Tillie. I like Tillie as a first-round prospect because of his overall feel for the game. He has great touch from all around the floor as a scorer, and he also displayed fantastic passing vision that I think NBA teams will really like. He just seems like an ideal modern stretch four for the NBA. Defensively, he is light on his feet and can be viable in all sorts of schemes, including one where he matches up onto guards on the perimeter. My main concern with Tillie is his injury history. He's been banged up a lot throughout his Gonzaga career, and I'm not sure if he's durable enough to last in the NBA for a long time. But in this draft, I think he's well worth the risk because of his enticing skill set. At 23, I have Aleksej Pociusevski. Pociusevski is the biggest boom or bust prospect in this draft because if he hits, you're getting a transcendent 7-footer who shoots, passes, and moves, yes, actually moves, like a guard. I've never seen someone his size so fluid in his playing style. And I know you guys hear this all the time. Oh, this 7'2" big man moves like a guard. And usually it's all bullshit. I'm not kidding you though, Pociusevski moves like an actual guard. On the other hand, if he doesn't hit, then you're in trouble. You're left with the skinniest 7-footer ever who doesn't shoot a high percentage, turns it over a lot, and can't defend his size in the post, which would lead to him being out of the league in 3 years. At 22, I have Florida State wing Patrick Williams. Williams entices a lot of people due to his frame and athleticism. At 6'8", 225, there's certainly a lot to like. Williams is a bulldozer who can body players going to the basket, but also possesses the potential to hone an outside game that would make him an extremely high upside player. As a defender, Williams also takes advantage of his frame as he can physically overwhelm his opponents. I don't see him as a top 10 guy though. Listen, I think he's got great tools, but I don't really buy the foot speed defensively, and I think he'd be better off as a 4 than a true 3. And while he can still be effective in that role, he wouldn't be as transcendent of a talent. Offensively, I don't think he's very polished, as he only hit 32% from 3 and turned it over more times than he assisted a teammate. And he just doesn't seem like someone who can develop an off-the-dribble jumper. At 21, I have Arizona's Josh Green. I think Green is the best perimeter defender in the draft, as he will basically be glued onto his man for the entire game. He's extremely engaged defensively as well, which to me makes him a can't-miss prospect on that end of the floor. Offensively, Green has nice passing instincts, and while his off-the-dribble game is coming along still, he definitely has upside in that area. The downside of Green, obviously, is that if that offense never fully develops. He struggles in space and doesn't really have much fluidity when asked to create for himself, but still, his defense alone makes him a first-rounder in my eyes. At 20, I have Washington forward Jalen McDaniels. The appeal with McDaniels is obvious. He's a 6'9" guard who has a great handle and can get his shot off at any time he wants. He has that combination of size and skill that you could see being a transcendent talent. His overall effort level and floor IQ concern me though. At Washington, he often took plays off on both ends, and that was a contributing reason for Washington's total collapse last season. He also tends to turn the ball over a lot, and he shot a worrisome 40% from the field when it should have been a lot better. He forces the issue too much on offense for my liking, but his skill set and frame make him a top 20 guy for me. Coming in at 19, I have Teo Maladon. Maladon impressed me with his sturdy and pace-oriented playing style. I like how he uses his length to his advantage, as he can attack on the ball and in passing lanes defensively, and uses long controlled strides to finish gracefully at the rim. Maladon was also a reliable three-point shooter, as he hit 37% from beyond the arc. He needs to improve his passing vision, but there is enough to work with in my opinion. He doesn't have great burst either, and that may hurt him in getting separation to be a difference maker, but I really buy his overall ability to outmaneuver defenses and get to his spots. At 18, I have Memphis forward Precious Achiuwa. I really like Achiuwa for his motor and defensive capabilities. He's shown the foot speed and athleticism to be able to guard on the perimeter, and his feisty attitude combined with his brick house frame of 6'9", 225 allow him to have his way in the post as well. He remains raw offensively, and while he got close to 16 points a game for the Tigers last season, he still needs to work on his jump shot consistency as well as his ability to read the floor. Still, Achiuwa seems like a high floor energy guy who can possibly end up as a starting small ball 5 in the NBA. At 17, I have the New Zealand breaker RJ Hampton. I really buy Hampton's athleticism here. I think he showed an ability last year to create space against NBA level athletes, and he has a quick first step that allows him to get to the rim rather seamlessly. This also applies to his defense, as Hampton uses his quickness to force steals and be in the right position at nearly all times. Hampton does need to get stronger, as he looked like a boy among men at times last season, but once he does get stronger, I think it'll help his overall finishing ability. He looked intimidated at the rim at times, and I think once he figures out how to take contact, those issues should alleviate themselves. His jumper is also a concern, but again, I'd bet on him working it out, as he has already shown a revamped and tightened form in off-season workouts. Coming in at 16, I have Tyrese Maxey. Maxey might be one of the most impressive finishers I've seen in this class, despite a 6'3" frame combined with limited end-to-end athleticism that should suggest otherwise. That just isn't the case with Maxey though, as he is a genius in terms of finding angles to exploit, and he can finish at the rim like a 10-year NBA veteran. Defensively, Maxey uses a long wingspan to stymie perimeter threats, and he is very aware off the ball as well, as he can deflect passes and force turnovers. I worry about Maxey because of his jump shot. It's a low release, and he struggled to make three-point shots at Kentucky. I worry that this trend will continue, as I predict his shot will be difficult to get off cleanly. Still, Maxey should be looking at a very long NBA career. That wraps up part 4 of my big board reveal. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the finale of the series, where I'll go through my top 15 prospects in this year's NBA draft. If you have any qualms or disagreements, make sure you comment below, as I respond to literally every comment I receive. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon for part 5.